everyone, and a very warm welcome back to Mr. English Podcast Studio, the place where we learn English in a relaxed, natural, and practical way. I'm Emily, and I'm really happy to be here with you today.
And I'm Paul, joining Emily once again. We're honestly so glad you're spending your time with us because today's episode is not only useful, but also something every single one of us can relate to in our everyday lives.
Exactly, Paul. Today, we're talking about a topic that is simple on the surface, but incredibly powerful for improving your English. We're going to talk about our daily routine, the things we do from the moment we wake up in the morning until we go to bed at night.
I love this topic because daily routines are full of real-life English. These are the words, phrases, and verbs that native speakers use naturally every single day without even thinking about them.
Before we jump into today's episode, we just want to take a quick moment to ask for your support. If you're enjoying our podcast and finding it helpful, please make sure to subscribe to Mr. English Podcast Studio.
Yes, and don't forget to share this episode with your friends, classmates, or anyone else who is learning English. Also, giving us a thumbs up really helps our channel grow and reach more learners like you.
Your support truly means a lot to us, and it motivates us to keep creating better and better content for you.
So, for today's episode, we're doing something a little special. We're going to listen to the daily routine of someone named Sarah.
That's right. Sarah isn't here with us in person, but she has shared her story, and we're going to listen carefully to how she describes her typical day.
After listening to her routine, Emily and I will talk about it together, explain important words and phrases, and give you extra tips to help you use this kind of English in your own life.
Think of it like a friendly conversation, almost as if we're all sitting together and chatting about our day.
So, without any further delay, let's listen to Sarah as she tells us about her daily routine.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, and I'm really happy to share my daily routine with you today. I usually get up at around 6 o'clock in the morning, although sometimes it's a little earlier or a little later, depending on the day. The very first thing I do when I wake up is turn off my alarm because it can be quite loud and annoying. After that, I usually stay in bed for a few minutes and stretch my body slowly to help myself wake up properly. Once I feel ready, I get out of bed and walk to the bathroom, where I take a shower. Having a shower in the morning helps me feel fresh, awake, and ready to start the day. After my shower, I dry myself with a towel and get dressed. I usually choose comfortable clothes that are suitable for work and also make me feel relaxed throughout the day. Then I go downstairs to the kitchen and prepare my breakfast. Most mornings, I have a bowl of oatmeal with some fruit along with a cup of tea because it's healthy and gives me energy. While I'm eating my breakfast, I often check the news on my phone to see what's happening in the world. It's a habit I've had for a long time. When I finish breakfast, I wash the dishes and tidy up the kitchen so everything is clean and organized before I leave the house. After that, I brush my teeth carefully and put on a little makeup, just enough to feel confident and ready for the day ahead. At around 7:30 in the morning, I leave the house to go to work. I usually take the bus, which takes about 30 minutes, depending on traffic. I arrive at work at 8 o'clock and start working immediately. Most of my work involves using a computer, answering emails, and attending meetings with my colleagues. Throughout the morning, I stay busy with different tasks and responsibilities. Around 12 o'clock, I take a break and have lunch with my colleagues in the cafeteria. During our lunch break, we usually chat, laugh, and relax for a while before going back to work. After lunch, I return to my desk and continue working until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. When I finish work, I usually go back home by bus. However, if the weather is nice, I sometimes choose to walk home instead, which helps me relax after a long day. When I finally get home, I often feel tired, so I sit on the sofa and relax for a short time. Sometimes a friend comes over and we talk or watch a movie together. On other days, I cook dinner just for myself. I usually eat dinner around 7:30 in the evening. After dinner, I wash the dishes once again and then spend some quiet time reading a book or watching television. Before going to bed, I always brush my teeth and get ready for sleep. I usually go to bed around 10 or 10:30 at night. That's pretty much what my typical day looks like.
Wow, listening to Sarah's routine really feels like listening to a real person talking about a normal, everyday life, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and that's exactly why this kind of English is so useful. Sarah didn't use complicated words or difficult grammar, but her message was very clear and natural.
I really liked how she started by introducing herself and clearly saying what she was going to talk about. That's a great habit when you're speaking in English.
Yes, and right from the beginning, she uses the phrase, I usually get up at around 6, which is something native speakers say all the time.
The word around is very important here because it shows the time is not exact. It could be a little before or a little after 6 o'clock.
She also mentions turning off her alarm, which is such a common daily action. Turn off is a phrasal verb that we use for many things, like lights, phones, or alarms.
Then she talks about stretching in bed, which is a nice detail and makes her routine sound more real and natural.
Exactly. Small details like that make your English sound more fluent and less robotic.
She also clearly explains the difference between waking up, getting out of bed, and starting her morning activities.
And notice how she moves smoothly from one activity to the next, using phrases like after that, then, and when I finish, which help connect her ideas.
These linking phrases are extremely important if you want to speak English smoothly and confidently.
So far, Sarah has covered her morning and workday in a very clear and organized way.
What makes Sarah's routine especially useful is that it follows a very natural structure, the same structure most of us use when we talk about our day without even realizing it.
Because of this natural flow, it becomes much easier to understand her routine clearly and learn the everyday English expressions she uses throughout her day.
Yes, she starts with the morning, moves into her workday, and then finishes with the evening and night. This kind of order makes it much easier for the listener to follow along and understand everything clearly.
Let's go back to the morning part for a moment, because mornings are usually the busiest time of day for many people. Sarah says she usually gets up at around 6 in the morning, which already tells us something important about her lifestyle.
That's right. When someone says they get up early, it often suggests they have a structured routine and responsibilities, like work or study. And again, she uses usually, which is a very common adverb when talking about habits.
Adverbs like usually, often, sometimes, and always are extremely useful when you describe your daily routine because they help explain how frequently you do something.
Then she talks about turning off her alarm and stretching in bed. These small actions might seem simple, but they add detail and make her story feel more real and relatable.
Exactly. If you want your English to sound more natural, don't just list actions. Add small details about how you feel or why you do something.
For example, Sarah mentions that stretching helps her wake up properly. That explanation makes the sentence longer, smoother, and more natural.
Then she moves on to getting out of bed and going to the bathroom to take a shower. Notice how she doesn't rush through her routine, but explains it step by step.
Yes, and she uses simple verbs like go, get, take, and have, which are extremely common in everyday English.
After her shower, she dries herself and gets dressed. Again, these are actions that everyone understands, but they're perfect for English learners to practice.
I also like that she says she chooses comfortable clothes. That shows personal preference, and talking about preferences is a great way to expand your speaking skills.
Absolutely. Then she goes downstairs and makes breakfast. Here we see another very common phrase, make breakfast, which simply means preparing food in the morning.
She even tells us what she eats: oatmeal with fruit and tea. Adding this kind of detail helps listeners learn vocabulary related to food and meals.
And while she's eating, she reads the news on her phone. The word while is very important here because it shows two actions happening at the same time.
This is a great example of how you can connect ideas in English instead of speaking in short, disconnected sentences.
After breakfast, she washes the dishes and tidies up the kitchen. These are everyday chores, and the phrase tidy up is especially useful.
Yes, tidy up means making a place clean and organized, and you can use it for many situations, like tidying up your room or your desk.
Then she brushes her teeth and puts on a little makeup, which shows how she prepares herself before leaving the house.
She says she leaves the house around 7:30. Again, we hear the word around, which tells us the time is approximate.
She usually takes the bus to work, and the journey takes about 30 minutes. The verb take is a very commonly used verb when talking about time and duration.
For example, you can say, "It takes me 1 hour to get to work," or "This lesson takes 30 minutes."
When she arrives at work, she starts working immediately. The word immediately means without delay, right away.
And throughout the morning, she works on her computer and attends meetings. Throughout is another excellent word because it means during the whole period of time.
Yes, instead of saying all the morning, native speakers often say throughout the morning.
Around noon, she has lunch with her colleagues. This part is very realistic because many people eat lunch with coworkers.
She mentions chatting and relaxing during the lunch break, which shows that lunch isn't just about food, but also about socializing and resting.
After lunch, she goes back to work and continues her tasks until 5 o'clock. The word continue means to keep doing something without stopping.
And when she finishes work, she goes back home. Finish work is a very common phrase to describe the end of the working day.
Sometimes she walks home if the weather is nice. This conditional sentence is very useful for learners.
Yes, if the weather is nice is a common expression that you can use in many situations.
When she gets home, she feels tired and relaxes on the sofa for a while. This is something many of us can relate to.
For a while means for a short period of time, not too long.
She also talks about her social life by saying that sometimes a friend comes over.
Comes over means visits her at her house, which is a very natural and informal expression.
Other times, she cooks dinner for herself. This shows variation in her routine, which makes it more interesting.
She eats dinner around 7:30, washes the dishes again, and then relaxes by reading or watching TV.
The word might is important here because it shows possibility, not certainty.
Finally, she talks about getting ready for bed and going to sleep around 10 or 10:30.
And she ends by saying, "That's pretty much my daily routine," which is a very natural way to finish a description.
Exactly. Pretty much means almost or mostly, and native speakers use it all the time.
Now, let's talk about how you can use Sarah's routine to improve your own English.
A great exercise is to try describing your own day in the same order: morning, afternoon, and evening.
Start with what time you usually wake up, then talk about what you do next, step by step.
Don't worry about being perfect. Focus on being clear and natural.
You can also use adverbs like usually, often, sometimes, and rarely to describe your habits.
Try adding small details, like how you feel or why you do something. This will make your English sound more fluent.
Another good idea is to record yourself speaking about your daily routine and then listen to it.
When you listen back, you might notice areas where you can improve or add more detail.
Remember, speaking English is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice.
And daily routines are perfect for practice because you already know the content. You're just learning how to express it in English.
Before we finish today's episode, we'd love to hear from you.
Try writing or speaking about one thing you do every day that makes you happy.
You can leave a comment below or practice on your own. Either way, keep using English as much as possible.
And before we go, please remember to subscribe to Mr. English Podcast Studio if you haven't already.
Share this episode with anyone who is learning English and might find it helpful.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today.
Keep practicing, stay confident, and enjoy your English learning journey.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye, everyone, and see you in the next episode.